All right, so today we will be talking about recreation and the leisure time. I think this topic is really interesting because I don't think it's normally talked about in schools. When we talk about special education, particularly, we normally talk about, math, reading, comprehension, all those great things. But we don't always talk about the recreation side of it and like free time. So I found this topic very interesting. All right. So it is needed inside of schools a lot. It's needed for teachers to teach it so that students can actually learn and understand how to use their free time to the best of their advantages. So many students have free time during their school day, but they don't really know how to fill this time. This was a really big thing that I learned about when I was actually talking with the head of Bethesda, because that's where I'm doing my service project at. They have a lot of students who have free time, but they don't really know how to use that free time or what to do with that free time. So they really have to learn what can they do with that, how to be productive with that, and how to have fun in a good way. So I thought that was really interesting. They have many challenges with leisure time. So students that have physical disabilities can have barriers there, such as like trying to play sports, things like that. There's also sensory barriers. So maybe someone doesn't like loud noises. So trying to go to a concert in your free time might not be the smartest thing ever. And there's also intellectual barriers. So if you're struggling with some intellectual problems, going to a game quiz night with your friends might be fun, but you might not have as much fun as going and playing dodgeball or something else. All right, so there's some definitions that I found that were important for this topic. So leisure is one of them. It's unoccupied time with the opinions, or sorry, with the options given to students to choose between. So when you have just free time with lots of different options. And then recreation is an activity a person can do to rejuvenate oneself physically and mentally. So just anything you can do. I know for me, going and singing in a practice room just to get some nervous energy out is always great, but it's just anything that can just build you up and make you feel better about going and doing things from the mental aspect and the physical aspect. All right. So just some more definitions that I found that were pretty important is different kinds of activities. So social is activities done with others. Creative is activities that involve making or creating something. Physical, activities that require body movement. Cognitive is activities that challenge thinking skills. And then relaxation is activities someone does to feel calm. So just different kinds of activities that you can do when you have that free time. All right, so as a teacher, what can we teach? There's a lot of different adaptations and modifications that we can teach our students to help them in this free time. These were some of the top ones that I found. So task analysis is always great. Video modeling, checklists, pre-plan activities, technology decision-making guide, length separation inside binder. It's a lot of different words, but I'm going to kind of go through them one at a time. So first is a task analysis. This is a really great way for students to look down. You can even do this, like do a task analysis and partner it with a social story, something like that. But I picked one for leisure. A girl knows that she's done with homework. What does she have to do today? She's done with everything. Looks what I can do, and then picks out an activity. And that shows growth. It shows that she can succeed in making a decision for herself with that free time. So having that task analysis, just being able to visualize the steps is really helpful for students. We also have video modeling. So I'm going to change over my screen and show you a video model that I made.
I have finished all my homework. Now I have free time. I really like the show Elmo. I will go watch Elmo now.
So it's kind of going through that steps, like one at a time, of how to think through all the steps. If I have free time, what am I going to do? I know I like watching TV. I'm going to go watch TV. And then you could even make a video model of going and watching TV, turning on the TV, picking a channel, all those great things. But this was just showing the process more of thinking through everything that you saw or that you're thinking. All right, so the next would be checklists. This is really helpful for students when they have lots of different options of things that they can be doing. And they're just trying to figure out, what do I feel like doing today? So, for example, this is our free time checklist. We have stay at home. This is more for a student that's outside of school that has, that more independent living and just has free time. So they can stay at home, they can eat out, they can go to the movies, go out to dinner, go to the gym, go on the internet, relax, rent movies, have dinner together with friends or family, sleep in late, read, talk to friends, go shopping, watch videos, play sports. So these are just a lot of different options for students, especially if they have free time on their own as an independent liver, or in an independent living situation, that they can figure that out and do the best things for them. This is set up a little bit more with pictures and specific things. You can also set it up a lot more like a checklist. So you can go down one at a time and see what works best for the students and what they would like to do. All right, so this is where we pre-plan activities. I found this really important. As you can tell, there's also another checklist that you're using in this, but it's the whole idea of planning beforehand. So before you even have the free time, what are things you enjoy doing? So this is something a teacher could give a student to find out more about them. So for example, there's cycling. You could say you like it, you're okay with it, you don't like it, or you want to try it. And then maybe when you have free time, your teacher can pull this out and be like, oh, well, you said that you want to try cycling. We should go try cycling. Or a student can even pull this out in free time and figure out what they can do with this. So it just kind of takes the pressure off when you're not feeling the pressure of having to decide in the moment. You can kind of wait, push it off, figure it out when you're calm and relaxed, and then you'll have that sheet right there for you when you need it. All right, so that brings us to the technology decision-making guide. So this I found very interesting. It's kind of different, not exactly what I thought it was going to be, but you have your question, like what would you like to do? Or kind of like how could you go play basketball, let's say. Then we have the student's abilities and disabilities. So if they have a physical injury where they can't move their arms, then, you could talk through, well, could we play soccer instead? Or could we have someone, take the shots and they'll play defense, something like that, where you can go through each thing. Some of their examples are vision, hearing, behavior, using the hands, things like that. So you can go through all those, where they're going to succeed, where they're going to have troubles. And then you think about the environment. You're not going to want to play basketball inside of a classroom. So what kind of environments do we have? Are we in the lunchroom? Do we have access to the gym at this time? Can we go outside? Is this is this playground time, recess? Or is this, sit down and learn a lesson time and you just have free time in your lesson? So it's really going through each of those things. And then there's the tasks. So I think of this more as a little bit more like a task analysis, is showing all the tasks that you can do during this time. So let's say you want to play basketball, you figured out the disabilities, figured out the struggles, you figured out that you can go to the gym at that time. All right, now what are we going to do to get you there? First, you have to ask a teacher for permission. You're going to have to get a basketball. You're going to have to maybe bring your paraprofessional with you to play. You might ask a friend to come, going through that entire checklist of what's next. So this is a really cool idea. I am kind of intrigued of how this can be made even easier, especially through the use of technology. But this is more of a simple decision-making guide just to help with those individual questions. And the questions can be a lot more specific or broad depending on what the subject area is, or what kind of leisure activity you want to do. All right, so this is actually my favorite thing I learned about. This is the length separation inside a binder. That's kind of my terms for it, but it's the whole idea of tasks and activities take different amount of time. So, for example, playing, in a room with some friends, you could do that for 10 minutes. Folding the laundry, that might be 10 minutes. But if you have 30 seconds between reading a book and going to the next activity in school, you can't really go and play with lots of friends because you don't have that much time. So I found the 30-second prayer challenge. And so it's got a 30 seconds of praying every single day. That'd be great for a student that just needs something to do in that free time. Or maybe give them a book that they can read for those 30 seconds. but just something smaller so that they can fill that like 30 to 3 minute gap between their class changeover. Then you have a little bit of longer tasks. So you have your 15-minute tasks. So maybe that's, texting friends and family, eating some food, cleaning up the house, things that take a little bit longer. And of course, I just showed 30 seconds, 15 minutes, and 10 minutes. You can show a lot more. So maybe have activities for like an hour, have activities for 10 minutes. I know this is very big in youth ministry when we do this because we have lots of different events and activities going on. So we have it separated by our big games, which are going to take an hour to 2 hours, to our small games. It'll only take about 30 minutes. So I've seen this be very effective in special education, but also out of special education. So I think that's kind of that whole integration, that students don't feel like they're doing it just because they're in special education. They're doing it because it's just a helpful thing overall, and lots of different students can use it. So that was my presentation about leisure time and different ways to use your free time. I hope you found it interesting. If you have any questions, please just let me know. But I found this very interesting to learn about. All right.